Hi guys, how's it going? How's everybody doing? Well, I said I would talk about the pockets a little bit more and, doing the magnets and stuff, but I thought I would just kind of go through a little bit of, I'm doing these are the pockets for the inside, front, and back cover of the Reader's Digest journals. So I did a bunch with the kraft policy envelopes. Last time I think I had not stitched them yet, and I don't think I had done the labels. So really that's the only thing that I've done since the last video when I was working on envelopes and tags. So I just added a label pretty much on each one, some sort of, Denison style label. And then I just stitched up each side of the envelope. And then, so I have not done the magnets yet. And I also attached a little tab on each one. But I'm working on these. So these envelopes are a tiny bit larger. These came from Hobby Lobby. Okay. So if you're looking for these, grab them at Hobby Lobby. They're pretty cheap. If you catch that every other week when they do all of the whatever their store brand is, they put it on sale half price every other week. Sorry if I'm yawning. Wow, I don't know where those came from. Anyway, but these are a little bit larger. These came from clearbags.com. So you just have to search on their website, policy envelopes, and they'll come up. Anyway, I got a whole bunch of them and I love them. It's a cream color envelope. Anyway, so basically I'm trying to keep these kind of simple, right? So, I just basically eyeball it, fold that up, give it a good crease. And I'm sort of, yeah, I'm definitely not measuring. All I'm doing is making sure that it's, shorter than the book cover. So, and then since I'm trying to keep it simple, I've just been using some kind of, these are from this really awesome, like, botany book that I got recently. And so I'm just sort of, trying to incorporate like a botanical theme or some kind of nature theme into all of these envelopes. So I'm just going to glue this onto the front. I've done a bunch of these. I've done a bunch, but I thought, I might as well just kind of do a couple from start to finish on camera. I don't know what it was, but I was kind of in a weird mood earlier tonight. I tried doing this, but I just couldn't seem to get it together. Anyway, so I used the baby wipe and smush it down. You can see the image on the other side of the paper kind of coming through, but that'll go away once that dries. Just want to make sure that this paper is long enough that when this is folded up, you don't see the edge. Okay. And then I'm going to do something on the front here. What I've been doing is just, some kind of like ledger paper or something like that. And I've got a bunch of scraps of like offcuts from, larger pages and stuff. So those actually fit perfectly on here. So I'm going to glue that one on. I'm applying the glue to the envelope rather than to the paper that I'm gluing on, just so I don't get a bunch of glue that's kind of overshot. You know what I mean? So just gluing that on, and then I'll just do a little bit of collaging on the front of this, making sure that, you know, things aren't sticking together where they're not supposed to. And I just, you know, use some kind of something flowery or whatever, like something like that would be good. Or, you know, yeah, like that. And then I want to add something else just to sort of give it a third little piece. So I think I'm actually just going to use another piece of a different little ledger page, just a little scrap. You know, I could use washi tape or anything, but I'm trying to use up these scraps of ledger so they don't go to waste. You know what I'm saying? All right. And then, oh, I do want to ink the edge of this. So thank you everybody who came and hung out on my live sale yesterday. That was pretty awesome. There was lots of people there. That was great. And we got her done pretty quick. I mean, I was only on for like 5 hours or something. And then I don't know. I just love masking tape. So I'm just adding a little strip of masking tape along the bottom here. And I love it because you can see through it. And it just adds a little bit of, you know, texture or whatever. Okay. So then I'm just going to trim off this excess paper. I'm actually going to be cutting the bottom of this envelope off as I trim, because I'm making that into 2 pockets. Close it up, and then being careful not to cut the fold, and then trim off the sides. Normally I would let this dry before I started trying to cut it, but it seems to be working okay. Okay, and then I'm going to actually cut just the slightest little sliver off the side of this envelope so that I can open it up. Okay, and then this part at the top here is going to get trimmed. I love cutting paper with scissors, so you know, some people would probably see all that trimming and go, ugh, you know, but I love it. So okay, so we wind up with something like that, right? And then, so this is going to get cut into, you know, this is going to get notched out, and it's going to be showing this part in the back. So I want to actually add something there to just sort of make it so it's not that blank paper. So I'm just going to add some of this book page, and it doesn't, you know, doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a scrap. Making sure that it's, you know, relatively centered. I have this hair. One of my hairs was stuck in my ring, and it's been driving me nuts. Okay. All right, so that's that. And then I'm going to trim this off. There it is again. All right, so then we're going to do, I hope this will cut through with this glue, just a tiny bit wet. Anyways, I don't want to go down too far because I'm going to be adding a magnet on here, and I want to make sure that the flap will still, you know, come down far enough. Like I need a little bit of a space in between that notch and you know, where the envelope stops. Okay. And then I'm going to do kind of a deeper notch here. And I'm just eyeballing this. I know it's basically centered. And then where's my other, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Okay, and then this is a smaller circle punch where I'm just doing another notch on that back pocket. So I've got two pockets here, one on top of the other basically. And then move those out of the way. Cap my glue. And then I'm going to just trim these little corners off as per usual. Try to make this kind of a shorter video. Does not have to be an hour long every time, Jessica. Okay, that one and then this one. All right. So that's how that goes. Now, so that one's, you know, basically to the same point as the rest of these. Okay. So as far as attaching the magnet, oh wait, I have to notch this one real quick. Just a minute. Just a sec. Should see my floor when I get done doing this. Most of my paper scraps, like this little stuff, winds up on the floor. And so I've got like yeah, there's a bunch of paper and thread all over me most of the time. My mom said she can always tell when I've been upstairs because there'll be like a trail of thread. Okay. So those are notched. I'm going to ink this. Oh, and this one needs that paper. Whoops, I forgot to put the paper on here. Just a minute. I should have done that before I notched it, but it's okay. It'll be okay. Okay, so let me just glue that right up to the top. Okay, there we go. And then I can ink that one. I knew something looked weird there. All right, so that's done. Whoops, this thought it was done. Hold the phone. Okay, so there, now it's done. And as far as magnets, I get these on Amazon, and they're oh gosh, I think these are the 3mm. I don't remember exactly what size these are, you guys. I think I could look on, I'll look on my order history to be sure what size they are, but Okay, so one thing I want to show you is, okay, you know how magnets have a positive and negative, right? So what I do when I have them in this little stack to be sure that they're going to actually stick to each other at the right, in the right, you know, pole when I get them attached. So what I do is I take one and I lay it down the way that it was on the little stack, okay? And then I take another one off, I turn it upside down, and I put it kind of far away on my desk, but I turn it upside down, right? So the positive is up on one and the negative is up on the other one. So that means that they're going to stick together in the position that I put them down. It'll make sense here in just a second. So my little thing that I started doing with doing these magnets, I used to just cut out little circles of paper and do it like that. But to be honest, it was kind of a pain in the neck. And so what I started doing is just using this paper medical tape. And it's really nice because it's super thin and it's pretty sticky. And it's like transparent when you put it, when you get it down, right? So what I do is I just take that, I pick that magnet up off of the table with the tape, okay? And then I'm just gonna place the magnet, trying to make sure that I have it centered with the tape, like right in the center, okay? And then press it down. All right, and then the other piece, don't need much, just a small amount. So again, I'm going to pick that up. Oh, you guys probably can't even see. So I just picked it up with the tape, okay? And then I'm going to turn it over. So the magnet is now on the top, and I'm going to set that on that magnet. Okay, so if the magnet was if it was the wrong way up, the magnet would flip over when I put it on there. So sometimes that happens and you just have to like pull the tape one way or the other to get it kind of centered again. Anyway, so so they're stuck together, so I know they're in the right position. So then I just close the envelope, push that down, and then the other magnet is taped onto that side. So it's not going to move. Like I know it's going to be in the right position always. So yeah, the paper medical tape works great. Okay, so what I'm being like super like detailed with these envelopes for some reason. And I'm probably making it harder than I need to, but I really love this paper. And so I'm just using it. I'm using it a lot. And so I want to cover up this glue and also that tape. So I'm just going to use this paper again because I love it. And I'm going to trim this so I have, you know, a straight edge that's going to go right up to the fold of the envelope on the inside. Okay, so I'm only trimming that one edge for now. Putting glue all the way down to the bottom of the paper so that it'll stick onto, you know, there won't be anything loose. Okay, and then that edge is going to line up with the crease in the, you know, the natural crease in there. And then I need it to overlap that whole flap. Like I need it to completely cover that flap. So, and then smooth it down. I know, it seems like a lot of work, doesn't it? But, you know, what else do I have to do? Okay, and then I'm going to trim this excess paper off. Of course, I would normally let this dry because I would be working on like, you know, 20 of them. So I would let this dry as I work on the rest. But I don't have time to let it dry right now. Okay. So so there we go. So we've covered the glue that was on the envelope, and I also covered up the magnet. And I think that looks pretty clean, you know. Okay, so now I just have this part, and I don't really want to leave that tape raw like that, just because I feel like it has the potential to, over time, to kind of peel up. And so I just want to cover it with a little piece of paper. And so this is some ledger paper, and I'm just gonna cut a little circle of it out and glue it right over that. So you want to use pretty thin paper when you're using magnets. Otherwise, the magnets won't stick to each other. So just test it out before whatever type of paper you decide to use. Just test it and make sure that you get good connectivity with your magnets before you use it. You know, like cardstock is too thick. So you've got to use something relatively thin, depending on the strength of your magnets. I mean, if you're using bigger magnets that are stronger, you know, that might work. But for these little tiny ones, cardstock is just too heavy. It's too thick. So anyways, and then I just want to add a little tab on there, kind of just as a, I don't know, a way to sort of grab the flap, right? And the other reason that I wanted to add another, you know, layer of paper on this flap is because this paper of these envelopes is a lot thinner than the kraft envelopes. This paper is a lot thicker and heavier, so it's like more durable. But this paper is relatively thin, like it's just it's just paper envelope. So I wanted to add some weight to it, a little bit of thickness to it, just to make it more durable. So that's the other reason that I wanted to add that layer of paper and glue on there. So I'm using the little Scotch permanent glue stick to attach the tabs because I love it and it's very reliable, and I know it's gonna stay, even if I don't stitch around it or anything like that. I know that it's gonna stay. Okay, so I inked around the little tab, and I'm probably gonna ink this ever so slightly. Oh, and if I had enough people bug me, I might be able to get Conrad to make some more of these inking tools. Of course, this time I'm going to be smart if I do get him to do it, and I'm not going to take any pre-orders like I did last time. God, that was stressful. Okay. So I've inked around, and this is going to be glued into the journal, so I don't really need to worry about the back. Okay. All right. And then what I want to do, so I'll continue doing that to the rest of these, and I might wind up adding a label or something on these too. But one thing I do want to do is I want to add some kind of like fabric or lace element to these and these, probably to both. So I pulled out my little box of goodies. Well, one little box of goodies. And I just want to, you know, pull out some pieces that I want to use maybe. These are just the little hexagons that were already cut. Let me do a couple of these. So I just want to add something to kind of soften these up a little bit. I feel like they're kind of harsh, you know. So I'm just going to add a couple layers of, you know, fabric and lace on here. And I will probably wind up stitching this just like right across the top. And I don't think I like that. Hold the phone. I want some lace. Some kind of lacy bit. Nope, not that. Okay, there we go. Yep. All right, so I'm just going to add some, this is that Scotch permanent glue. So I'm just going to stick that on. I am going to stitch this with the sewing machine. So, but that'll hold it until I get to that. Yeah, I think that's cool. I could even add one more little piece, but I think that's enough. You know, and then that leaves the tab open. So these are going to get magnets also. So, you know, just the same process. I love sitting here just putting magnets on. You know, you could actually use a little piece of fabric too. We could try that and see. It might be too thick though. No, I'm going to stick to my paper idea. I'm sticking to paper, but you probably could glue fabric to hold your to cover your magnets. That's not exactly in the center. I don't know. I just like this paper tape because it's kind of porous and I feel like it doesn't really add, since I cover it with another piece of paper, it doesn't really add much bulk as far as, you know, as far as being able to, you know, still stick to the other magnet. Like, I tried it with masking tape, and the masking tape was just a little bit too thick after I glued another piece of paper over it, too. I mean, you wouldn't even necessarily have to. I just like the way it looks better if it's covered. So since I'm not doing paper on the, you know, the whole flap, I'm just gonna do a couple of these little circles of this ledger. This ledger paper is really old. This is like from 1825 or something, but it's super sturdy. It's really weird. I don't know what it's made out of. I don't know what kind of paper it is, but it's cool. So I don't care that it's covering up that label a little bit. It doesn't bother me one bit. Here. Okay, and then that's just going to get stitched with a zigzag right across the top of that flap. So, and then these, you know, pretty much the same. Just add some kind of little like even this little piece of satin maybe. Got strings all over me. It's a little piece of satin, and then digging in the junk journal salad, y'all. Okay, and then yeah, like that. if I wanted to get really crazy, I would pull out the hot glue gun and all my paper flowers and maybe even just like add a paper flower or something on these too. Who knows? Who knows? It could happen. And then I'd also like to add an eyelet on these little tabs and maybe hang a charm or something on them. So just kind of do them up. Yeah. So super easy, huh? With the paper tape. I think it's, I don't know. I mean, maybe you guys do that anyways. Maybe I'm not. Maybe it's not a revelation. I mean, it was a revelation to me, but yeah, just paper medical tape. And because it's so thin, you're able to actually glue, you know, another piece of paper over the top of it, and your magnets still stick to each other. That was my whole point. And it's much easier applying the magnets with the piece of tape than, you know, glue and paper and stuff. I don't know. It's just because of lining it up here. That's always the difficult part, is getting it, you know, to line up perfectly. So this way, they always line up perfectly. As long as you place one of the magnets upside down when you put it on the table, then they'll always be in the correct like position, you know. So yeah, and then just keep going like that, cutting out circles of paper and gluing, and I could just do this for hours and hours. Yeah, this is my favorite part of making journals, is just when I get set up and I get like on a roll where, you know, I've got a project and lots of whatever it is to do. I love just, you know, repetitive kind of things, you know. I don't know. That's just me, I guess. Anyway, so that's my little thing with the magnets, and doing those other envelopes. They're basically the same, except for that I, you know, lined it on the inside, you know, mostly to cover the magnet, but also to add a little bit of strength to that paper. So I just wanted to kind of do something pretty and flowery, you know. Anyways, all right, you guys. So next time, which will hopefully be sometime over the weekend, we'll just do something else, you know, something working towards getting these journals done. All right, you guys, I love you. Take care, okay? Bye for now. Thanks for watching. That's what I meant to say. Okay.